Introduction. Before he won the presidential elections, Donald Trump was just a billionaire who frequently made news for his peculiar comments. He showed interest to run for the president way back in 1987, and in 2000 he made his way in politics as a Reform Party candidate. In June 2015, he announced that he would stand for the presidential elections. Cynicism over Trump's candidacy curtailed not only from his provocative platform on immigration and contemptible style of campaign, but from his celebrity past. However, the 70-year-old millionaire had the last laugh when he falsified all forecasts to be the experienced politicians in the race of the Republican. His win in the presidential elections was the final blow in the face of none other than the Democratic rival Hillary Clinton. He will make history in the books of United States of America when he will be sworn as the 45th President of the nation and the first ever not to have served in military or have held elected office. Chapter 1. Early Life of Donald Trump. Born on June 14, 1946 in Jamaica Estates, Queens, Donald Trump was the fourth kid of Fred and Mary Ann Trump. His siblings were Fred Jr., Elizabeth, Robert, and Mary Ann. The family lost Fred Jr. to alcohol in 1981. Donald was fortunate enough to be born to a family who was already doing well in their family business. His father was constructing houses in New York City to address the needs of soldiers returning from World War II. Donald's father, Fred Trump, was already a real estate developer for the past 20 years. The Trump family lived in a comfortable home in Jamaica Estates when Donald was in school. He had to leave the Q Forest School because of behavioral problems when he was 13, after which he was put in New York Military Academy. He completed his high school from this institute. Donald performed well here and also participated in the marching drills. He also got the rank of a captain while he was in the NYMA. For his graduation, Donald Trump selected the Fordham University in Bronx for the 2 years, but he later got himself transferred to Wharton School of Finance and Commerce at University of Pennsylvania, because this place was one of the few colleges that had a department on real estate studies. While he was still studying, he also worked in one of his family companies, Elizabeth Trump and Son, which was named after his paternal grandmother. In May 1968, Donald Trump graduated as a Bachelor of Science in Economics from Wharton School of Finance and Commerce. An important lesson that Donald learned while working part-time in his family business was the psychology of real estate. His father's main business was building projects which were completely dependent on the outlook of the Americans looking to satisfy the needs of working-class people who strive to be middle class. Donald Trump refined his father's business and brought about sophisticated changes in the outlook of his final works, like adding huge lobbies, classy porticos, and gave English names for the apartments that he built, like Sussex Hall, Wexford Hall, etc. Although Fred Jr. was his father's heir, the young man showed less interest in his father's empire and died young because of his addiction to alcohol. Donald helped his father on important deals like Forest Hills, Starrett City, Queens, and Brooklyn. Chapter 2. Personal Life and Marriages. First wife, Ivana Marie Zelnichkova. Donald Trump had all the qualities of an elite bachelor, but he chose to remain single for several years and expand business till he met Ivana. Ivana Maria Zelnichkova was born in Czechoslovakia, but hard work and her athletic skills in skiing brought her to the Olympics. She was different from the women of New York City and knew how to work hard to achieve her goals. She got herself a master's degree in physical education and further took to studying business and decoration. Ivana was married to a skier, but then it was publicized that it was done only to get her a citizenship and avoid her from coming in the eyes of the communist leaders. Trump and Ivana met in the promotion of Olympic Games in New York. Donald and Ivana got married in an extravagant ceremony in 1977. The husband and wife were a strong team, and Trump, with Ivana by her side, took on some important projects like Trump Plaza and the Grand Hyatt Hotel. Ivana was more than a beautiful wife to Donald Trump. She helped Donald to attain his personal prominence. Donald made her the president of Trump Castle Hotel and Casino and the vice president of Trump Organization. She gave birth to 3 children: Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump. Ivana expressed to spend time with her children in the 1980s and left all her positions in the business of Atlantic City, but took charge of the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan as the president. Second wife, Marla Maples. Once Ivana left the business in Atlantic City, there were rumors that a young beauty pageant winner, Marla Maples, was dating Trump, who was 40 then. Donald gave her expensive gifts and tried to keep the matter under control. It was not long before Marla was seen with Donald wherever he went. Even if he was holidaying with his family, Marla was kept in a hotel nearby so he could see his mistress when he wanted. This continued for long, and finally in Aspen, when Donald was on a trip with his family, Marla and Ivana were face to face on ski slopes. Ivana was demeaned by Donald, and Marla's affair stories led her to file for a divorce. Trump married Marla and had a daughter, Tiffany. He had a wonderful wife, but lost her. Trump lost his reputation as a reputable businessman and was seen as a rich person who used money to cheat upon his wife. A true businessman, Trump used this situation to profit his business and used it for advertisements for insurance companies. Needless to say, money rolled in. Donald Trump was in a lot of debt in the beginning of 90s. He was called arrogant and cocky, but he ignored what the media said about him and concentrated on getting back what he lost. Donald and his second wife's relationship ended in 1999. Marla was dating Michael Mailer when she divorced Trump. Donald dated a young and influential model and actress, Cara Young, for some time, but they soon parted their ways for reasons unknown. Third and present wife, the First Lady of United States of America, Melania Knaus, born as Melania Knavs in Slovenia, Melania is now the third wife of Donald Trump and also the First Lady of United States of America. Melania is a former model. Trump was still married to Marla when he started dating Melania, and once he was free from the vows of his second marriage, he started dating her publicly. When they started going out together, Melania got more modeling contracts and Donald also helped her in promoting her modeling career. Their marriage in 2005 was a lavish affair. They now have a son, Baron Trump. Melania is known to have undergone several plastic surgeries earlier, and her earlier pictures can hardly be found. Trump has 5 children from all his 3 marriages and 8 grandchildren. Chapter 3. Career in Real Estate. Donald's first project was with his father when he was still doing his graduation. They worked on a project known as Swifton Village, which were apartments in Cincinnati, Ohio. By the time he finished his graduation, he was 23 and was already successful in real estate. In 1971, he was the president of his company, which he renamed the Trump Organization. He moved to Manhattan and undertook bigger construction projects. In a matter of 2 years, his company had constructed 14,000 apartments in Queens, Staten Island, and Brooklyn. During this time, also he was in paper for allegations that they were discriminating against the blacks in terms of renting and apartment. The feather on his cap was when he bagged the deal to develop Grand Hyatt in 1978. By 1983, he had a 58-story skyscraper standing high in Midtown Manhattan, which was the Trump Tower by him. Of course, the project was not easy, and there a 16-year lawsuit that was finally settled in 1999. This grandeur was both home and headquarters of Trump Organization. There are offices, homes, shops and cafes in the building, which itself is a spectacular work of construction. His business expansions were nothing less than brilliant. He opened a casino at the Trump Plaza in the Atlantic City. He bought the Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida for $8 million, including the furnishings of the home, and used it as his winter retreat, while also converting it into a private club for $150,000. Together with Lee Iacocca, he purchased the condominium complex in Palm Beach, which was converted to Trump Plaza of Palm Beach. He also took over a project of repairs of Woolman Rink, which is an ice rink open to the public located in the Central Park of Manhattan, New York. The earlier contractor had undertaken to repair the place in 2.5 years, but was unable to complete it. Trump completed the project for $750,000, less than what was actually assigned for the budget. He also managed the rink for a year and gave all the profits to charity. His controversial acquiring of Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, almost brought him to the brink of bankruptcy. With an investment of $1.1 billion, Taj Mahal Casino was the most expensive casino that was ever built and opened in April 1990. $675 million of it was financed with junk bonds at an interest rate of 14%. The project was bankrupt next year. Bondholders and banks, who though could face losses in millions, decided to reframe the debt. On October 5, 1991, the company was out of bankruptcy and Donald Trump gave away 50% of his ownership to the bondholders and bought himself more time to pay the debt at a lesser rate of interest. Trump sold Trump Shuttle Airline and his yacht, the Trump Princess, during this time. Taj Mahal Casino was bought back by him in 1996 and merged into Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, which filed for bankruptcy in 2004, showing a debt of $1.8 billion, and again and the same was done 5 years later when they showed a debt of $500 million. Trump was just left with 10% share in the Trump Taj Mahal and Trump Casino properties. Presently, Trump Taj Mahal has been closed down. October the 10th, 2016, was when Trump Taj Mahal closed. Bankruptcies in business. Trump's casino and hotels have been declared bankrupt for 6 times. However, there are no situations known about Trump having filed for personal bankruptcy. Between 1999 and 2009, his casino and hotels were unable to renegotiate with the banks to make their payments and unable to negotiate with the owners of bonds and stocks. Trump personally has never filed for bankruptcy. None of this dampened his spirits, and he continued to struggle and come up with plans to expand his business. Further acquisitions. Trump lost his father in 1999, and Fred Trump's property, which was estimated at about $300 million, was divided among all the siblings. His constructions never stopped to amaze the world, and in 2001 he completed a 72-story tower, which was a residential building, and named it Trump World Tower. He started construction on Trump Tower, which is a multi-building project beside the Hudson River. In 2002, he bought the Hotel Delmonico in Manhattan and reopened it 2004 as Trump Park Avenue that offered 35 luxury condominiums to the public. Trump Organization also runs 18 golf courses. He also bought the Trunbury Hotel and a golf course in Ayrshire, Scotland. There were several other projects which he undertook. Every work of project that he laid his hands on was a success, and the final results were mind-blowing. Stunning, neat and unique constructions is what Trump gave America. Chapter 4. Trump's association with sports. Donald Trump had owned the franchise of New Jersey Generals, and in 1983 they became the member of United States Football League. Trump managed to persuade the majority of USFL to reschedule the game of 1986 to the fall, which was exactly opposite the National Football League, debating that it would lead to a merger, hence would result in an increase in the investment. The New Jersey Generals merged with Houston Gamblers after 1985 season, but their financial problems continued to follow them. The United States Football League, that had 18 franchises, was now left with 7 and was closed soon, although they won a lawsuit filed against NFL on antitrust. In 2014, Trump tried to buy the Buffalo Bills, but failed. Trump continued to be associated with sports even after the New Jersey Generals wrapped up. He has hosted many boxing matches in Atlantic City. One of the famous ones include Mike Tyson against Michael Spinks. Trump sponsored the Tour de Trump cycling stage race in 1989 and 1990, which was somewhat like the European races held like the Giro d'Italia and Tour de France. There were many controversies in the inaugural race, and after the 1990 race, he withdrew as his other undertakings were under threat of financial anguishes. Mike Tyson was imprisoned in Indiana for raping a contestant of a beauty pageant. Trump defended him, saying all this was a sham and he had witnessed several women groping Mike Tyson. Tyson spent 6 years in jail and he resumed his career in boxing in 1995 once he got a parole. Chapter 5. Trump and Beauty Pageants. Donald either partly or completely owned Miss Teen USA, Miss USA and Miss Universe from 1996 till 2015. Dissatisfied with Columbia Broadcasting System scheduling the beauty pageants, Trump took Miss USA and Miss Universe to NBC, or National Broadcasting Company. One of the winners of Miss USA, Tara Conner, was tested positive for the drug cocaine in 2006, but Trump gave her a second chance and let her keep the crown. The famous Rosie O'Donnell criticized his decision, but Trump contradicted her by criticizing her in a personal way. He also won $5 million against a contestant of the pageant show who said that the show was fixed. Univision, along with NBC, ended their contract with Miss Universe in 2015 because of the remarks that Trump gave in his presidential campaigns about the illegal immigrants from Mexico. He also filed a $500 million lawsuit against Univision on grounds of breach of contract and defamation. There are no reports of whether or not Trump filed a case of NBC, but he soon sold the pageant to WME and ING. In the February of 2016, the court settled the $500 million lawsuit against Univision. However, the terms of settlement are not known. Chapter 6. Trump University. Donald Trump, along with his acquaintances Jonathan Spittleny and Michael Sexton, opened Trump University LCC in 2005 that offered courses like entrepreneurship, real estate, wealth creation and asset management. It was not an accredited university, nor did the organization give any degrees or grades to the students studying there. There were several lawsuits filed against it, and the institute was closed down in 2010. There is a case due for trial on November 28, 2016. Lowe versus Trump. A judge by the name Gonzalo P. Curiel was criticized by Trump continuously. Trump called him a racist because the judge happened to be a Mexican. Trump even suggested that a wall should be built in the US and Mexican border. There were many legal experts who reacted to Trump's continual attack on Curiel and regard them as racially indicted, groundless, and disrespect to the thought of an independent judiciary. Trump released a long letter on June 7, 2016, saying that his criticism towards the judge was misunderstood and that he pointed out his impartiality was not grounded on origin but upon verdicts in the case. Chapter 7. Donald Trump, Media and Entertainment. Even after running an empire as big as this, Donald has found time to associate himself with the world of entertainment and was seen in many movies and television series. As a member of Screen Actors Guild, he gets a pension of $110,000 annually. There is a daily talk show that is aired on the radio known as Trumped. He was host and executive producer of the famous reality show The Apprentice, first launched in 2003, where contestants compete among themselves to get placed in a high-level management job in the Trump organization. Trump earned about $700,000 in one season, and when the show was a success, he was paid $1 million for each episode. One of Trump's managers said that Trump was paid $213,606,575 by NBC Universal for the 14 seasons that Trump had hosted the show. His star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that was given to him for his contribution to television for The Apprentice was vandalized several times, and the latest, when it was broken, was in the month of October 2016. NBC wanted to have a 15th season of The Apprentice, which they made public on February 16, 2015, but Trump was too busy in his presidential campaigns. Yet on March 18th, NBC stated that The Apprentice was going to happen. But after the June 29, 2016 campaign of Trump, where he had made negative statements about the immigrants, NBC stated, due to the recent derogatory statements by Donald Trump regarding immigrants, NBC Universal is ending its business relationship with Mr. Trump, outwardly culminating Trump's role in The Apprentice. Trump can also be seen in movies and television serials like Zoolander, Across the Sea of Time, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Sex and the City, The Little Rascals, 54, Horrorween, and a few others. Chapter 8. Donald J. Trump Foundation. Established in 1988, Donald J. Trump Foundation is a private non-profit organization which is based in the United States, and the intention of the foundation was to give away the profits got from the book Trump, The Art of the Deal by Trump and Tony Schwartz. The funds for the foundation were got mostly from other donors. Trump has personally never given anything towards charity since 2008. Linda and Vince McMahon were the highest donors by donating $5 million to the organization. Donald J. Trump Foundation's tax return reveals that the foundation has contributed to sports-related charities, conservative groups, and healthcare. In the beginning of 2016, the Washington Post started posting about how the foundation raised and gave money. The Post revealed many lawful and ethical desecrations like tax evasion, suspected self-dealings, etc. The New York State Attorney General is scrutinizing the foundation to ensure that it is abiding the laws governing the charities of New York City. One of the spokesperson of Trump stated that the inquiry was a parochial hit job. In October 3, 2016, the New York Attorney General's office informed Trump Foundation that it was purportedly in desecration of laws of New York in terms of charities and ordered it to stop all its funds generating activities in New York. Chapter 9. Donald Trump and Wrestling. Donald Trump is a friend of WWE owner Vince McMahon. There were 2 WrestleMania events held in Trump Plaza, and Donald Trump actively participated in both the events. He is a fan of WWE. He was interviewed by Jesse Ventura in one of the shows of WrestleMania 20. He was also seen in WrestleMania 8. Everyone remembers the Battle of Billionaires in WrestleMania 23, where Trump was with wrestler Bobby Lashley while McMahon was with wrestler Umaga. The match was between Lashley and Umaga with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the referee. In a deal between Trump and McMahon, whoever's wrestler lost, the loser would have to shave his head. Lashley won and McMahon had to shave his head. Trump was instated for his promotional contributions in the celebrity wing of WWE Hall of Fame at Madison Square Garden in 2013. Chapter 10. Politics, 1988 to 2015. Trump had expressed his intentions on running for president in 1988, 2004 and 2012, and even for governor of New York City in 2006 and 2014, but never actually stood to compete for the positions. Donald Trump failed to get presidential nomination of the Reform Party to the Exploratory Committee in 1999. In a poll of 1999 held in July against 2 of his competitors, Al Gore and George W. Bush, Trump got 7% votes and dropped because of party squabbling, but he won the party's Michigan and California primaries. He spoke publicly about his intentions for presidential nominations in 2012, and in a news poll released by Wall Street Journal in March 2011, Trump was found to be leading as a probable contender, followed by Governor Mitt Romney, former governor of Massachusetts. The papers continuously showed Trump as the contender for Republican nomination for president when Trump was still thinking about a run. Trump continuously raised questions on Barack Obama's citizenship and demanded to see it. Although Obama had released his certificate of birth in 2008, he even sent investigators to Hawaii and said that Obama's grandmother had revealed that she'd seen Obama being born in Kenya. After White House released Barack Obama's birth certificate, he denied discussing about it. He had also questioned Obama's grades. Finally, on September 2016, he denied all allegations and said that the rumors were started by Hillary Clinton in one of her presidential campaigns of 2008. In the Republican primaries of 2012, Trump in general had polled at or below 17% among the many potential candidates. On May 16, 2011, Trump publicized that he would not run for the presidential elections of 2012, but said that if he would have won it. He was one of the speakers at CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference. In the speech, he said that Obama was overprotected by the media and also spoke in contradiction of unlawful immigration and opined against harming Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. In 2013, a memo was circulated by the New York Republicans which said that Trump should run for 2014 for state governor against Andrew Cuomo. Trump responded by saying that although New York had problems, he was not interested to run for the position of a governor. He told NBC in 2015 that he was too busy to host The Apprentice while he prepared for his future in politics. Chapter 11. Campaigns of Donald Trump for the position of President 2016. At the Trump Tower in New York City on June 16, 2015, Donald Trump revealed that he would be standing for the President of United States of America. His speech was a heated and pointed to Islamic terrorism, illegal immigration, national debt of the United States, and offshoring American jobs. He revealed that his slogan for his campaigns would be "Make America Great Again." He campaigned like a conservative man, especially when he spoke on religious and social subjects. He concentrated on patriotism for America with disregard for thoughts such as political correctness and biased media. Trump made many controversial statements while campaigning for him. Politico defined them as exaggerations, simply false or mischaracterizations. After Wendell Willkie, Donald Trump is the second party presidential nominee in the history of America who has gained all his experience from his business. Also, he would be the first president without any experience of politics after Dwight D. Eisenhower or any military past. He will also be the oldest to take the first-term president. There were many rallies in the main season which also had violence and protests, with attacks on the protesters in the rallies. There were clashed among the supporters of Trump and the protesters too. In comparison to the other candidates who were campaigning, fact-checking organizations such as factcheck.org and politifact.com said that he was the one who was recorded for making the most number of false statements. The New York Times, Politico, Los Angeles Times, and the Washington Post have all his statements as whoppers, lies, or falsehoods. According to a professor from the University of Wisconsin for Madison School of Journalism and Mass Communication, Lucas Graves, Donald Trump speaks unclearly and it is difficult to understand what he actually means. He also said that the fact-checkers would have to carefully evaluate and investigate things about his spoken statements before they can replicate what he was trying to say. Trump also revealed that the media misunderstood what he wanted to say. Primaries. There were a total of 16 Republicans who Trump had to face. This was also the largest number in the history of America. He partook in all the debates, except one which was held on January 28th and was the 7th debate, after which primary voting was initiated. It was a matter of time that Donald Trump was left with one opponent, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. Trump won the majority of vote and continued to be the front-runner in as long as the primaries lasted. He got the support of more than 50% main voters of the Republican and clearly won the Republican nomination. May 3rd, 2016, Trump's win in Indiana made what remained from the group of presidential candidates, John Kasich and Ted Cruz, to suspend their campaigns. Donald Trump was declared the presumptive Republican nominee by RNC chairman Reince Priebus. He got 14 million votes, which was a record for getting most primary vote in the Republican Party history. Campaign for general election. Trump's obvious attention was now the general elections, and his target was his main opponent, Hillary Clinton. They were declared the presumptive Democratic nominee on June the 6th, 2016. Hillary Clinton had a noteworthy lead in national polls over Trump. Her lead, however, went down when James Comey, FBI director, disclosed that Clinton was not responsible enough while handling classified data of the government. Trump declared Indiana Governor Mike Pence as his running mate on July 15, 2016. Both of them were nominated officially on July 19, 2016 by the Republican Party at the Republican National Convention. He denied disclosing his tax returns before the elections. General elections. Historical day of Donald Trump, November the 8th, 2016, he won the presidency and was now the 45th President of the United States of America. Trump won with 306 electoral votes to 232 received by Hillary Clinton. He is the fourth candidate to have won the electoral even though he got lesser popular votes than his opponent. This was clearly seen as one of the major political affronts because most of the polls clearly showed that Hillary had a lead over Donald Trump. This was recognized to pollsters that they miscalculated Clinton's support among non-white and well-educated voters, while they miscalculated the support of white working class for Trump. Republicans now control both Congress and the White House since their last hold in 2006. Donald Trump delivered his speech of victory in front of his supporters in Hilton Hotel in New York City. The speech was in blatant divergence with his earlier grandiloquence, with Trump promising to reconcile the disunion caused by the election. He thanked Clinton for her services towards the country and promised to be president to all Americans. Trump met President Barack Obama to talk about the handing over of powers. New York Times stated that although the two men are of opposite nature and have been political enemies, displayed respect for each other. Chapter 12. Political positions. Trump has defined his political positions in different and usually in an inconsistent way. PolitiFact.com says that it is difficult to understand Trump's stand on the points because he continuously shifts and changes his position. He likes to use nebulous, incongruous and unclear language, it said. The website also states that there were about 17 times when Donald Trump had said something, but then clearly denied having said that. To control the ISIS in 2015, Trump had said that the oil should be seized in the areas that were occupied by the ISIS with the help of US ground and air troops. He advised to send about 30,000 troops to that region. He completely withdrew from this matter later, after which he has debated that the local allies of United States should make their troops available for the fight. He also thinks that the oil fields that the ISIS controls should be bombed. He is with the use of waterboarding and stated that he would be bringing back some really bad things. He also said that, as the president, he would undo the international nuclear agreement with Iran. When it comes to the conflict between Palestine and Israel, he said that it was important at times to be neutral. However, he also said that he was a big fan of Israel. In his 2016 campaigns for the presidential position, he continuously claimed to have said that he was not with the idea of launching war with Iraq. This statement has completely been contradicted by the fact-checkers. When he was asked in 2002 whether or not he supported invading Iraq, he had said, "Yeah, I guess so," and added, "I wish the first time it was done correctly," referring to the Gulf War of 1990 to 1991. He had openly referred to the war as a mess within a week that it began, and by 2004 he said that he was against it. From 2004, he has always criticized the war and made it even clearer in the campaigns of 2016. While campaigning for the presidential position, he has at times said that the Afghanistan war was important, while other times said that it was not a mistake. Donald Trump had strongly supported 2011 military intervention in Libya. But after that has changed his statements many times, and finally, in June 2016, he said that he would have supported surgical bombing against Gaddafi. In another statement, Trump said that Russia could help America in their fight against the ISIS militants. In the same interview, he said that he hoped Russia would find the missing emails of Hillary Clinton when she was the Secretary of the State. He said, "Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing." He dismissed the question the next day, saying that he was being sarcastic. Chapter 13. Immigration Policies. This was one of the most discussed policies while he campaigned for presidential elections. Trump on one occasion said that he would build a wall in the border of Mexico and United States so he could keep the illegal immigrants from sneaking in. He also said Mexico would have to pay for the wall. He also wants to make a deportation force that would be in charge of deporting about 11 million people who have been staying in the United States illegally. August 2016, he sent hints that he would not be as harsh while deporting the immigrants. He visited Mexico on August 31st, 2016, and while meeting the Mexican president, Enrique Pena Nieto, he said he wanted to strengthen the relations between Mexico and US. Again, later, in one of his speeches, he said about a big 10-point plan. He confirmed his plans on deporting illegal immigrants and building the wall across Mexican-US border. He stated that the task force would look out for those who have overstayed their visa, criminals, or any other types of security threats. The most controversial points that Trump had proposed in 2015 was total and complete temporary ban on foreign Muslims coming in United States of America. He later changed his statement in 2016 by saying that the temporary ban he was talking about would be applicable only to those people who belong to countries that already had a proven history of terrorism against the United States or its allies. He regarded this as an extension of his proposal and not a rollback of the actual proposal.